Vondell, I want to thank you for your feedback and how you felt that you were betrayed and lied to. And so, who was that person that you betrayed, that you felt betrayed by?
Mika Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough.
And what did you do? You made a what?
I made a reaction video to it.
Okay, and that reaction video will be coming up after this particular video. So I thought that what happens, a lot of times people aren't informed. Sometimes they think they're being told the truth. It sounds good, sounds really close to the truth. They can just have a part of a truth mixed in and the rest of it could be lies and they're off and running. So today we're going to give out 10 contributory factors of a lie and some of the consequences that it brings. The first one is personal gain. Individuals may lie to achieve personal benefits such as financial advantage, social status, or avoidance of consequences. Now, Vondir, what do you have to say about that?
What I have to say about that, people that lie, or just stay out of jail like the president, he will lie his way to avoid consequences.
Is he maintaining any personal gains?
Unfortunately, yes.
And who have he hooked up to make his gains grow bigger?
Elon Musk.
Okay. Fear of consequences. The fear of punishment or negative repercussions can drive someone to lie to evade responsibility. Do you know anybody out there?
That's like the Republican Senate. Like incumbent Senator John Thune of South Dakota, that's majority leader of the Senate.
And is there anybody else that has lied? And
anybody else that has lied in the Republican House when they did not release the Matt Gaetz situation? Matt Gaetz report, when we need to know that information, especially if he becomes Attorney General of the United States, of the Justice Department, which if he does become Attorney General, the Roy Cohn is going to be the Department of Retribution and Injustice.
Okay, so there's a lot of lies out there going around. Social pressure. Peer influence or the desire to fit in can lead individuals to lie to align with groups, norms, or expectations. Now, who's putting social pressure on their party right now?
The first would be Mike Johnson, that's House Speaker. That was the one that was saying that we should not release the House report. When you resign from the House from an ethics violation, you're no longer jurisdiction of the House, and the report doesn't get published. So, House Speaker Mike Johnson, Republican from Louisiana, a good Christian man, as they call it. Oh boy.
And who's next on the list?
And the next on the list is Representative my favorite representative, Taylor Marjorie Greene of Georgia.
Okay. And what is Taylor Marjorie Greene doing at this?
If we're going to release the report, then I'm going to release all the sexual harassment that the Republicans did, and we're going to do it in the sunlight.
Okay, so they're going to dance in the sunlight and reveal everybody's under the cover actions, right?
Right.
Next, you have low self-esteem. People with low self-worth may lie to create a more favorable self-image or to gain acceptance from others. Who do you think have low self-esteem? Anybody you know in this election?
In this election, we had about 53% of white women that voted for Trump, because one woman said that it's not about banning abortion nationally, it's about giving it back to the states.
Desire for control. Some individuals lie to manipulate situations or others seeking to maintain power or influence.
That sounds like the predecessor, J.D. Vance and Elon Musk.
But now he's no longer the what?
And then he's no longer the predecessor, he's the president.
And we have to acknowledge that he is the president, and we will acknowledge that and move forward.
Still having a difficult time.
We all are having a very difficult time. But the first thing, and acceptance comes down the chute as almost the last thing in grief. But we are all in that phase, and we will regain, our self strength, our resilience.
That's why I'm reading that book right now on grief.
Then you have. I think it's desire to control. Did we do that one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, cognitive dissonance. When personal beliefs conflict with one's actions, Individuals may lie to reconcile the two, preserving their self-image. So basically, there's an inconsistency of belief in their thoughts, and in order to justify their beliefs, they may act one way, and uh, they may act, they may believe one thing and act another way to basically protect their self-image. There's an inconsistency in their belief, and they lie to justify their behavior. It's like a mental conflict, or it's a internal contradiction.
Like the evangelical Christians are like the internal contradiction.
That's a real good example, because I'm sitting here thinking that here we are with Christians who back the president, who has all these different
That will violate any faith.
and actually doesn't have a faith of his own, but they believe that he's their what?
He's their savior. Same thing with the Muslim faith with Dilbor with the Palestinian issue as well.
All right. Insecurity. A lack of confidence may lead to lying about one's ability or experience to appear more competent. And we see that all the time. So, you're seeing that you see it on both sides of the aisle, on the Democratic side and the
Republican side.
Who on the Democratic side do you see with that type of insecurity?
One of the security right now that act like Obama would be Josh Shapiro and Galvin Newsom on the Democratic side. And the reason why I say that because Shapiro is marketing similar speech like Obama.
Well, he just sounds like
He sounds like Obama.
I don't think he's mocking him. I think he sounds a great deal like him. He's very effective in his job.
Mm-hmm.
He is. And Gavin Newsom is very effective in his job. Now, people going to bring out...
Oh, no, another one is Charles Schumer of New York. That's another one that I talk about as well. He needs to resign as well.
Okay, but
and Dick Durbin.
But right now, Schumer is pressing it to the curb to get those
judges.
So we have to give credit where credit is due. Even if we, may dislike a person, may have a certain feeling about them, but if they're doing a job, what do? We
give them the credit where the credit is due.
Absolutely. Next we have, on the Republican side, where was the insecurity? Who did you think that seemed very insecure?
Who would think on the Republican side that's insecure? We have a lot of them, like Josh Hawley, Ted Cruz.
Okay. And why would you say Ted Cruz?
Because he knew better.
What did he know?
I mean, he knew better. When you talk about your father, when you attack of your family from Trump, from the president, and talked about your wife and your family, but yet you crawl back to him, that's just really disgusting.
Well, kind of Marco Rubio.
And another one, Marco Rubio in Florida is insecure. He called him a con man and a liar. And now, and he was so thirsty for attention, he don't have original thought. And now he's Secretary of State. Marco Rubio in Florida is really insecure.
Well, then there was advanced mistakes with
with J.D. Vance was another one.
Okay. They all seem to kind of fall in what?
They seem to fall in line and just left their principles to the side just for more power.
So they fell in line. They didn't hold the line.
Yeah.
But we hoping with the gates of hell, Matt. We hope that they what?
They hold the line, but I doubt it.
Next, we have cultural factors. People lie because in some cultures, lying may be more socially acceptable under certain circumstances, influencing behavior. What culture?
There ain't no culture that'll be lying.
I don't know.
I don't know about that one.
We got to come back and research that one.
That one we have to do a little research on that one. I don't know about that one.
Well, the bottom line is, in every culture, everybody tells some type of lie. I just don't think it's no such thing as a white lie. Or when people saying, I was being discreet. Discretion is to
That's a
me
lie. That's still a lie too, or smoothie of a lie as well.
because you're leaving out what?
You're leaving out the facts and
And
you're leaving out the truth.
the information. You don't
Information
have all.
need information that's needed to make a real informed decision.
Okay, so I'm gonna circle that cultural factors to lie.
That's a hard one.
Yeah, cultural factors. We're gonna come back to that. We're gonna research that. I don't know. Um, if you take it, if we take it out of the states and overseas, who do you think that was constantly lying? Well, here, who do you think here that constantly lied to the people? And I don't know if it was a cultural factor. They just lie. It was just part of their makeup. It's just what they did
Yeah.
um, with under their particular diagnosis.
Hmm.
And that's where we struggle with the lie because we didn't feel that the American Psychiatric Association stepped out soon enough to point out and say instead of unprecedented, this is the way this person looks, and this is what's going to happen if this person gets.
Gains any power of authority.
They did step out later on, but they had been taken out by the mainstream media
And fired
and
and losing their professionalships and was fired at Yale, like Dr. Lee.
well, um, and then we had that factor that also with the APA they did not
Get rid of the Goldwater rule.
right, and you mentioned that in your video
Yeah.
also. And when we say Goldwater rule, the Goldwater rule was what?
The Goldwater rule was that you cannot make a diagnosis without them coming to your office, and they're not going to volunteer coming to a psychologist's office.
So when they kind of just said we're gonna be careful, we're not gonna say anything about this person's psychiatric health because we haven't examined him under a microscope or the
They're
process.
not going to volunteer to get examination unless you do a mandatory.
And then that led the president to um, escape that clause, which still they need to go back and the APA need to go back and.
If they can't, then there's got to be new organizations that can counter the APA or just disband the APA altogether.
Ooh, you say disband. It's going to be enough disbanding around here, so we don't want to add that one to the list. Okay, so we did talk about culture. That's the one we said we want to go back and check out cultural factors. And then we said about the habitual lying, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now, well, did we say habitual lying? No, habitual behavior. Now, the habitual behaviors, for some, lying can become a habitual response, often stemming from past experience or learned behavior. So we have a lot of people out there who are habitual liars because it's something that they've learned.
Something they learn from their parents or the environment around them.
And so when you talk to people and people get mad at you
Because I challenge them, I ask a lot of questions.
and they feel like
I'm challenging them.
and they don't like that.
They don't like being challenged, and they don't like saying, I don't know.
Because if you don't have the information, you need to refer them out to someone else. But instead, they will rather lie to make their image look good, to make you feel like, well, I got the answers. Nobody has all the answers.
No, you don't have all the answers. When I don't have all the answers, I just read.
Well, and if I come across something like we did with the
I would tell them that I don't know that answer, and I'm going to have to come back and research it myself
okay,
with the facts.
if we and I don't mind saying I don't know, I don't understand, could you explain it to me? But for some people, that's just saying that they're not the person in charge, or they don't they don't really know, they don't really have that skill set. Or if you're talking to them and you say, well, let me ask Alice, maybe she'll know, they'll blow up on you because they feel like they have all the answers. Or don't ask them, ask me. They'll just make up something and lie. And we've
That's
seen
cult.
that.
That's another sign of cult behavior as well.
Yeah, cult. So we did. Well, maybe that was the cultural. Well, no, that wasn't the cultural fact because it said in some cultures, lying may be more socially accepted.
Yeah.
Well, when we looked at the factored uncensored,
And
uh,
I'm going to be talking about that more about that in my next video.
and we saw that video where they were explaining that why they voted for the president, it it almost made you feel like they really they really didn't understand that they were being lied to.
Not only being lied to, they just wanted to be accepted into white society when they're not going to be accepted. They were looking for a savior. Like one Hispanic said, we were looking for safety.
Okay. So because they had been here for so long, what happened?
They forgot who they really were to begin with. You're never going to be accepted by the albino society. Never.
Okay. Now, the last one is emotional factors. Strong emotions such as jealousy, anger, or love can lead individuals to lie in an attempt to protect themselves or others. Oh,
We see a lot of that.
we,
A lot of that in relationships.
absolutely. So when people become when they become angry, or when people become successful, and they'll say, I really want to see you go to the top of the ladder. I really want to, and they'll do things behind that person's back to undermine their success. They'll lie to them. So that's why I kind of felt that if we come out and say, hey, maybe you're not identifying this lie. Maybe we need to look at this from another point of view, from the point of view where we're from the
Opposite end of the spectrum.
Tell them the opposite end of the spectrum is where we kind of look at the more mental or psychological viewpoint of a case,
Of a case or a person.
of a person, and from the opposite end of the spectrum, we realize, having lived a lot of different behaviors, understanding, that some people are what they call the smooth criminals, that they will lie, they will cheat, they will steal, they will kill for a lie, and a lot of innocent people get hurt or caught up with these people, and those are the things that need to be pointed out. I know people talked about the election, things that went wrong, things that they could do better, and we thought on our end we just need to tell people to
Just look at the facts, tell the truth, and read.
to look at the facts, and understand what a lie is and how a lie can do damage. And we're seeing that take shape in this moment in time now. So I hope these factors, once again, personal gain, people lie for personal gain, people lie for fear of consequences, they lie for social pressures, they lie because of low self-esteem, they lie because they desire to control other people, everything around you. They lie for cognitive dissonance, and that was inconsistency of belief and their thoughts and behavior to protect their image, or a mental conflict or internal contradiction. So they lie for insecurity because they're insecure. They lie because of cultural factors, and we circled that because we wanted to go back and check uh, who do you think? Oh, I know. Uh, what is the country that always do the scams?
Ghana, Nigeria.
Was it Ghana?
It was Nigeria because of the Nigeria scams, Ghana scams because they scam you for your money.
Okay, so maybe the scams and the lies, and that's what we can think of for now. But we're gonna go back, and like I say, we don't want to target.
We don't want to target a different country because Nigeria is also the 10th powerful country in Africa in terms of oil production as well. And Ghana also is the one that's also helping welcome Black Americans as well. So we're going to have to do some more cultural stuff and more research. But that's the only thing we can think of for now.
Okay. And then we said for habitual behavior, because people do lie because it's just a habit. That's just what they do. They're so used to. It's just, I guess the truth is just something that's just not in their vocabulary. And the last one was emotional factors. People lie because of love, anger, uh, jealousy. There's many reasons out there why people lie. But what we have to understand and recognize the underlying factor to for lying and the motivation for dishonesty. So when you hear a lie, it's something in the game, something in the water. It's strictly for dishonesty. It's not for the truth. You know, you're not lying to protect. Well, some people say, but the lie still hurts when it comes out. So on that note, we'll get over here and get to your video, and you calm down quite a bit. And I'm glad that you got a lot of that out. But like I said, from a different point of view, we're looking at what a lie can do.
It could destroy a nation. It could destroy a relationship. And if you're not careful, it could destroy your health.
And the lies now that are piling up with the pics and with the president's pics, one of the things is maybe you have to see that in all the lies, nothing is stable, and it's going to be on to the next. So it's to keep everybody confused. It's to keep everybody um, upside down and in total chaos. But at the end of the day, it's all a lie. And we have to wake up and defend the truth. So on that note, Vondell, thank you for joining my video. I appreciate it. I like seeing that smile, because you wasn't smiling earlier. Whoo, that was a fire video. But you know, you've been a masterful teacher, and I really appreciate, you know, all that you have given to my noggin, and I'm still learning. So once again, we want to dedicate this video to the, what was it? Uncensored. It was dedicated to Factors Uncensored.
Yeah, with Rowan Martin.
No, that's not with Roland Martin. Factors Uncensored was with another podcast that we looked at, and we wanted to say Roland Martin, his was unfiltered.
Yeah.
So just to let you know, we're out there and we're looking, we're learning. We will continue to be transparent. We will continue to open up and put things in the community tab, which I thought it was a community tab. I thought people should be sharing. But that's what we'll be doing. And we will be sharing videos. And on that note, we're going to get out of here and go over and see that Vondell's video. See what he has to say.
And then in my next video, after that video is out, is going to be about the imposter syndrome.
So we'll hold that thought, and we're out.